Okay, some of you might have noticed that in PowerSchool there's a new way to get to your grade book. It's actually much better because you don't have to go to that box on the left-hand side that downloads the Java. Your Java doesn't have to be up to date. Now when you click on it, it just shows up right in your browser. So when you log into your Rapid Identity, you will still click on Powerteacher. This will bring you to the window where you take attendance. You'll see a lot of options for how to get to Powerteacher Pro. You will not need to use this area over here anymore. You're either going to click Powerteacher Pro under one of your classes, or you can click it up here in the top left. Once you're in Powerteacher Pro, you are going to be able to click up here to toggle between your classes based on what you want to set up. Within PowerSchool, all you have to do to create a new assignment is come up here and click Create. You can create a new assignment, or you can create an entirely new category. I'm going to show you in just a minute how to set up your term categories and your term weights. So you shouldn't need to do that from this screen, but you can if you want to. So to create a new assignment, you just click on Assignment. It'll give you all the options. You can put it in more than one class at one time, which means you don't have to go through copying it later. You can just go ahead and create it for all the classes. I'm just going to create it for physical science. Then you will name it. I'm going to do sample. You'll assign it a category, so you should, and I'll show you this, but you should have just your regular 4 categories unless you choose to do something differently for your class. So it'll either be classwork, project, quiz, or test. You'll pick one. Score type, you can either do points or percentage. Either way doesn't really matter here. And you can give bonus points if you want to. You can tell it to count it in the final grade, or you can do it as purely a participation assignment. Either way, you can say when it's due and you can give a description. I'm going to X out because I don't want to add that. You can also, this is interesting, you can add or delete students based on who you don't want it to apply to. So if you had students that weren't here for the first part, if you are exempting them from an assignment, if you do anything in your class where a student has a homework pass and you want to exempt them from that score, you can just unclick their name and it'll take that away from them. So I'm going to discard those changes. Okay, so that's basically how to create an assignment within here. You can also, up here at the right, you can toggle between the different terms. So you could be looking at E1, Q2, F1, Q1. Those are the same as they were before. Those identifiers are not different at all. You can look at your student rosters from here if you want to. You can click on any kid's name and it'll take you straight to their records in PowerSchool. You can also go straight to the Powerteacher portal. You can comment on them. You can look at actual standards in that progress. This is a really versatile page. Progress, that's going to give you some charts, some data to look at, which should be really helpful. Reports is what I wanted to show you. So you can do individual student reports. That's how you'll do your progress reports and stuff. You can do a student roster. If you wanted to do student roster, this could be for like an attendance sheet if you're going to be out. I think this one's really neat because you can select all classes. You can tell it to do all of them at once. You can also select the layout that you want, so by section, by student, and then you can say what columns you want. So right now it's just going to give you the student's name, but you could add a column for the course that they're in. You could add their student number. You could add their home phone, whatever you want to add, and then you could add a blank column where you can say, like, okay, I'm going to be out on Tuesday, so I'm going to make a column for Tuesday, so they can go in and manually record their attendance there. And then you can change the order with these buttons, and you can remove those fields as you need. I'm going to get out of that. Settings. So this is where you are going to set up your grades. So if you go to traditional grade calculations, you're going to see all your options for physical science. And don't worry, I'm going to show you how you can copy this to all the classes you're taking. So on the right, you're going to do actions. So typically, I don't want to mess with Mr. Helms' stuff, but typically for F1, you're going to do term weighting. On the other ones, you can choose, like for Q2, Q1, Q2, E1, you can do category weights. or you could just do total points. That's up to you. So for F1, you'll click on Actions to the right, and you want to make sure that you have this button checked, and you want to make sure that your weights are set up this way. Your Q1 and Q2 will be 40%, and your E1 will be 20%. Most of you will have that pre-populated from the district, so you shouldn't have to manually fix that part. You can always go in and change it if you need to. You can also, you can't drop low scores with term weighting. So that is term weights. So with Q1, you can either do total points or you can do category weighting. I know some of you do the category weighting setup. So if you wanted to add a category, you would just click the add button. You can still do category weighting. You can say what you want that attribute to be named. So this is where, back at the beginning when I showed you how to do create, if you want to add an extra category, if classwork, project, quiz, and test don't cover what all you need, you can add those from the create button, and it'll pop up here. So then, and this is entirely up to you. You set up how you want your categories to be weighted for your classroom. And so you'll say what you want the weight to be. But typically it'll just kind of set it up for you. So if you wanted this one to be weighted twice what the other one is, you could do that. So I'm going to delete this because I don't want to mess up his system. Okay. So if you set stuff up in this class and you want all your classes to be the same, you'll come up here to the gear icon and you'll do copy traditional grade calculations. You'll tell it you want to copy the terms from this class to another class. For the term, if you just want it to copy it for the whole year, you can do that. If you want it to copy just for one semester because you know that your semesters are going to look different in the future, you can do that. I'm going to do the full year. You can click the class that you want to copy from. So we just set up physical science. And then we're going to say what term we want to copy to. So we want to copy to the whole year, and then you can just put a check mark next to all the classes that you want to copy to. That way it's going to set them all up uniformly. It's all going to look the same. Okay, and then after that you will recalculate final grades so that if you already have grades in there and you're just now doing this, you don't have to panic because this will put everything on the right scale and it'll be fine. Then you'll click validate. On the next screen, it's going to ask you if you're sure. You'll say yes, and it'll copy and adjust. Okay, so in a nutshell, that's what we're looking at with Powerteacher Pro. If you have questions about it, the help icon is actually really, really great. The tips and tricks take you to pretty much everything that you would want to know about it. I mean, this is how we were trained from the district. So if you have questions, if you can't get a hold of me, if you're trying to do something at home, try this help icon because it really is great, a good resource for you. So that is Powerteacher Pro in a nutshell. I think it's awesome because everything is much more manageable than trying to download Java and have that copy ready to go. So if you have any more questions, please come and talk to us in the Media Center or check out the tips and tricks. And that's it.